What if I told you that the difference between a man who slowly loses his energy, his drive, and his performance, and a man who stays sharp, confident, and powerful well into his 50s, 60s, even 70s, often comes down to what he does in the quietest part of his day? Not the gym, not the bedroom, not even what he does in public, but what he does at night. I'm Dr. Chloe Anderson, and this is Real Talk Bedroom. And today, I'm going to take you deep into something most men completely overlook: the connection between your nighttime habits, your blood flow, your hormones, and your performance. Because here's the truth: your body doesn't just rest while you sleep, it rebuilds you. Every single night, your body enters a state that you cannot replicate during the day. Your nervous system shifts, your hormones pulse, your blood vessels repair themselves, your testosterone resets, your brain rewires. And if you get this part right, you don't just wake up rested. You wake up stronger, sharper, more driven, more alive. But if you get it wrong, you slowly start losing everything men care about most, without even realizing why. Let me explain something most people never talk about: your erections, your stamina, your energy, your confidence. They are not created in the moment. They are built hours before, while you sleep. And that's where everything begins. Now, you've probably heard all kinds of nighttime hacks or miracle rituals. Take this, mix that, drink this before bed, and suddenly, everything changes. But here's the reality I want you to understand right now. There is no magic spoon. There is no secret mixture that overrides biology. But, and this is where it gets powerful, there are certain compounds, certain habits, and certain patterns that can support your body's natural systems in a very real way. Not instantly, not magically, but consistently. And consistency is where transformation lives. Let's start with the foundation: blood flow. Because if there's one thing that determines male performance more than anything else, it's circulation. Everything depends on it. Your brain needs it to stay sharp. Your muscles need it to stay strong. And yes, your sexual performance depends on it more than anything else. An erection is not just about arousal. It's about blood entering, staying, and being maintained under pressure. That's it. And if your blood vessels are stiff, inflamed, or damaged, it doesn't matter how strong your desire is. Your body simply won't respond the way you want it to. Now, here's where things get interesting. Your blood vessels are lined with something called the endothelium. Think of it like a thin, intelligent layer inside your arteries. This layer controls how well your vessels expand, how blood flows, and how responsive your body is to stimulation. When it's healthy, blood flows smoothly. Erections are easier. Energy feels natural. But when it's damaged, everything slows down. And what damages it the most? Inflammation, oxidative stress, poor sleep, chronic stress, bad diet, lack of movement. This is where those nighttime rituals start to make a little more sense, because some of the ingredients people talk about actually do support these systems. For example, olive oil. Real, high-quality, extra virgin olive oil isn't just fat. It contains compounds that protect your blood vessels from damage. It supports the flexibility of your arteries. It reduces inflammation. And most importantly, it helps your body produce nitric oxide. Now, nitric oxide is something you need to understand, because this one molecule controls whether your blood vessels open or stay tight. When nitric oxide is high, your vessels relax. Blood flows easily. Performance improves. When it's low, everything feels restricted, slower, weaker, less responsive. Now, here's the part most men don't realize. Your nitric oxide levels are heavily influenced by your daily habits. Not just what you take, but how you live. This is where cacao comes in. Raw cacao contains compounds that support nitric oxide production. It helps your vessels relax. It supports circulation. But again, it's not magic. It's support. Then you have turmeric. This one is all about inflammation, because inflammation is like rust inside your body. You don't see it, you don't feel it immediately, but over time, it damages everything. Your arteries, your hormones, your recovery, your energy. Reducing inflammation doesn't give you an instant result, but it prevents long-term decline. And that's where most men lose. Not in one moment, but slowly, over years. Then there's stress, and this one is massive because you can eat perfectly, exercise regularly, do everything right. But if your stress is out of control, your body will still shut down your performance. Why? Because stress activates your survival system. And in survival mode, your body does not prioritize pleasure. It prioritizes staying alive. Blood gets redirected, hormones shift, your system tightens, and performance suffers. This is why sleep matters so much, because sleep is the only time your body fully relaxes. It's when cortisol drops. It's when testosterone rises. It's when repair happens. And if your sleep is poor, everything else struggles to compensate. Now let's bring this all together, because here's the mistake most men make. They look for one solution, one fix, one shortcut. But your body doesn't work that way. Your body responds to patterns, to systems, to consistency. So instead of asking, what can I take tonight to fix everything? Ask this instead. What system am I building every single day? Because the men who stay powerful, confident, and capable long-term, they don't rely on hacks. They rely on habits. They protect their sleep. They manage their stress. They move their body. They fuel themselves properly. They stay curious about their health. And yes, they may add supportive things like certain foods or compounds, but those are additions, not foundations. And that's the shift you need to make. Because once you stop chasing quick fixes and start building systems, everything changes. Your energy stabilizes, your confidence grows, your performance becomes reliable, not something you hope works, but something you trust. And that's a completely different level of control. Now here's something I want you to really think about. What if the issue isn't that something is wrong with you, but that your system isn't optimized? What if your body is actually capable of more, but you've never given it the right conditions? Because when you do, the results don't feel forced. They feel natural, effortless, consistent. That's the goal. Not perfection, but reliability. Because confidence doesn't come from one great moment. It comes from knowing, I can show up like this anytime. And that only happens when your foundation is strong. So tonight, instead of looking for something magical, start thinking differently. Protect your sleep, reduce your stress, support your body, be consistent. Because what you do tonight builds the man you wake up as tomorrow. And if you start stacking those nights, that's when everything changes. Now, if you want real science-backed strategies that actually improve your performance, your confidence, and your control, make sure you subscribe to Real Talk Bedroom. Because every week I break down what actually works. No hype, no nonsense, just real results. And if this made you rethink how you approach your health, share it with someone who needs to hear the truth. Because most men are guessing, and you don't have to. I'll see you in the next one.